Welcome to the School of Wordcraft and Worldmancy. This is Feedback Frenzy.
Hello, I'm WriterGreg, and welcome to the School of Worldcraft and Worldmancy. It's time for another Feedback Frenzy. I hope you like the new layout. This is the opportunity where everyone has you can submit 1,500 words of fiction or a world-building article by visiting wgc.bz/submit, where you can have your content critiqued on a future episode of the Feedback Frenzy. Right now we have here, oops, wrong one. All right, we have another article here from James Woodwright for In the Blood Panther World, where we're going to be critiquing this. So it looks like we're zoomed in a little bit. All right, and let's zoom out for an overview of this. Okay. I think, James, you already clipped from a previous video how I thought this was violently orange. I still stand by that. But I think for the theme that you have for the tiger, I believe Moonflower may have created this theme for you. Wonderful job, and it gives a strong sense. And usually the color orange isn't used very often in design. You know, I stick with the blues and greens, but, you know, orange. It is a literal bold choice and an excellent choice for the world that you have here. All right, the Protector Tiger. So it looks like it's a pretty straightforward. So let's, as far as layout goes, again, the theme, really nice. But we have here, yep, James, thanks for posting the link to the violently orange clip. One thing that we have here is we do have a rather large space here at the side. There is the ability in World Anvil to turn off the sidebar and force it to have this go all the way wide. If you're not planning on having anything here in this sidebar, I would highly recommend you turn it off so that we don't have this unused empty space, and we'll be able just to see this more clearly. So that's a little bit of a layout recommendation. Let's dive into the content. This has spoilers for a chapter or part of Tiger James. Okay, interesting. You have this in a different font, but there's no highlight, no hover, or link. Okay, so I was expecting to go to a link like that. This is a spoiler for a future story. When the story is finished, the sidebar will be populated. Okay, good to know. In the days of yore, the friendly tiger's roar brought protection in the darkest of days. There was once a friendly tiger that looked over us in our dark days. Its roar protected us from danger. Both old and new versions of a poem of the Tiger Protector. Okay. Now, with poetry, is this a free verse poetry, or is this to be? Usually, it's broken into sentences and stanzas and things like that. So I would, if this is to be a more structured poetry, like the lyrics of the song, I would recommend adding breaks into it, line breaks. Angel Faye 87, welcome as a first-time chatter. I'm doing well. Glad that you're here for a Feedback Frenzy. It's italics. It will go to a manuscript. And this, like, you're using commas here, and I think that works, but if this is to be a rhyming poem, a lyrical poem, or something like that, usually it's broken up into phrases like that. The Protector Tiger is a myth of a tiger who resided in the Albertan Legislature Building from August 4th, 1914 to November 11th, 1918. Those sound like very specific dates. The entirety of the First World War, the British and its empire. Yeah, okay. I was going, wait, those dates sound familiar. When certain events occurred that required the populace to be alerted, the tiger would leave the building and roar. Depending on the roar, it would mean different things, such as stay inside or all clear. As part of the historical weight, a brass plaque can be found where the tiger once slept. It is known that the tiger left Edmonton after the First World War, since the tiger didn't return in the Second World War. Some people are wondering if the tiger even existed. It is suspected that the tiger currently lives on the eastern side of the states, but these accounts are often, but not always, dubious at best. Okay, so this is a fun little bit of lore building that we have here. Excuse me. Okay, First World War, Second World War. Yeah, I like it that it's consistent as opposed to, you said instead of World War One, World War Two, you say first and second. Either way is great. I'm just glad that you were consistent between the two. It is known that the tiger left Edmund and after the First World War. This is a little bit on the wordy side. You could just say the tiger left. The phrase "it is known that" doesn't provide any additional information to the reader. It feels like it's padding the article a little bit, and you can just say the tiger left Edmonton after the World War One and has not been seen since. Yeah, people know that the people know that the tiger left Edmonton, right? But you need the people know that the tiger left Edmonton. Okay, well, then you could say that. You could say the last known sighting of the tiger was in Edmonton short at this time or something like that. I'm just saying it is no. It's very passive. I'm trying to figure out a way to recommend how it could be a more active sentence and more active because it just to me feels a little bit extra in there. Okay. Now the eastern side of the states. So you're referring to the United States. The tiger may have moved to the eastern, because I thought they were called Canadian provinces. So if the tiger remained in Canada, or the United States. So because we're set in Alberta, we're set in the States is the Canadian English version of the USA. Okay. You could provide a little bit more clarity on that. So that's what I assumed. So if you'd like to leave it as that. So on the eastern side, you could say like the East Coast or in the eastern United States. Anyway, just a little ambiguity there. Just wanted to make sure I clarify that. All right. In reality, this tiger is the were-tiger, James, the teleporting tiger, who found themselves living there since 1892, which, as James had no foresight of the First World War, stayed as he could not fight in the war himself. Being a were-tiger, so he decided to do the next best thing. Michigan. When I think of the eastern United States, I do not think of Michigan. That's the north central states. It is in the eastern half, but the funny thing, map of USA, images. Okay. It's just interesting here when we think about the United States. Yes, Michigan, yeah, you this is like this is the uh this is the central north. Eastern United States often refers to the original colonies or those that touch the Atlantic Ocean. But even Ohio, I think, is the north central United States. And even though it is technically in the eastern half, like Minnesota, Missouri, that's still seen as the central United States. Everything from Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, North, that's just the West. Then we have the Southwest, the Northwest, and yeah, and the Western Plains. So, all right. Then going back to here. This is one, it looks like here, this paragraph is one sentence long. I would highly recommend breaking this down into the one thought, one sentence rule. Okay, in reality, this tiger is the were tiger, or also known as James the teleporting tiger, period. Okay, then you can say, James found themselves living there. Okay, where's there? If you're talking specifically Michigan, I'd say north central United States. You could say in the somewhere in the eastern half, east of the Mississippi. You could, if you want to say, if you want to truly actually say mean the eastern half instead of what is called the eastern half, but the actual eastern half, you could just say east of the Mississippi River. Right. Okay, there equals Edmonton. When we're dealing with a paragraph, we really need to make sure that we do not use pronouns too early in the reference. Here, if someone came and said, "Oh, I want to learn about the reality," and they did not read the previous section before, they would not know what there meant. So I highly recommend that the first instance of a referring to a person, place, or thing, that it is not the pronoun. So James found themselves living in Edmonton since 1892. Okay. And then, which as James had, okay, so think of the ideas that we have that we want to convey in this paragraph. The were tiger's really named James. They've been in Edmonton since 1892. They didn't know the foresight of the First World War. Stayed in Edmonton because they couldn't fight, and they decided to do something more. So that's 5 separate unique ideas that you're trying to convey in this paragraph. So I would highly recommend you break it into 5 different sentences, each one with its own idea. One idea per sentence, one concept per paragraph. Cultural significance, literature. To the scale of Edmonton, and nowhere else, the story is taught in schools. Since it seems dubious or suspect or even fantastical, other places in or even other provinces refuse to teach the story. Okay. So, all right. Literature. I would really recommend that we be more direct in our language that we have right here. Okay. Just say it straightforward. This story is only taught in Edmonton province. Okay. Other provinces see this story as fantastical and refuse to teach it within their schools. You know, this to this, but I don't know what you mean by to this. Edmonton is a city. Okay, I do. I'm not as well versed. Okay, so to the scale of Edmonton, I don't know what that means. Canada, Alberta, Edmonton. Okay. So you could say this story, the story of the were-tiger, is only told within the city of Edmonton. Okay, I almost said this story. I corrected myself. Why? Because we wouldn't know what this story refers to in this paragraph. So again, avoid pronouns at the beginning of the paragraph. Say, this story, the story of the were-tiger is only told in the city of Edmonton. And then we don't, because to the scale of Edmonton seems that. Okay, so I would really be more straightforward in this paragraph. Okay, public reception. Those who live in Edmonton revere the story and hope to see the tiger again. Okay, that is a really good first sentence in the paragraph, and you can just stop right there. And then you can, okay, and then you go, and then you can just say, some may have chips on their shoulders over the treatment of the tiger himself. Interesting. It's a busy morning here in the Lemon household. Okay, I swear. Please silence all cell phones. Okay. Well, okay. So they have the chip on their shoulders. Okay. Okay. Well, over the treatment, the positive treatment, the negative treatment, the harsh treatment, the joyful treatment. Okay. Because if people have a chip on their shoulders, why? Is it because the tiger was treated too well or too poorly? This just says it was treated. So I'm a little unsure on how I should be feeling about the people who have these chips on their shoulder. So a little bit more clarification on that would be helpful. Those who live outside the city limits respectfully decline opinions on the matter. Respectfully decline to state their opinions on the matter. I would probably add that a little bit. Respectfully decline to state their opinion on the matter. Okay, so here we have a good article. All right, so let us jump into the overview of the article, and this is something kind of new. I kind of like. We got to move this up here. Okay, things that are awesome about this article. I would start. Oh, come on. You just. Why are you? Okay, does that? Nope. Come on. I should have practiced this before. Okay, let's go. Let's talk about the things awesome. I really like that you are integrating the tiger into the real world history. You're having a specific location. You're making it a folklore of how this tiger had helped the city. I was going to be paid, but they wouldn't afford a man's wage, so I agreed to have a woman's wage to protect them, but didn't give a woman's wage and paid me less than a woman's wage. Okay. I would be very concerned about phrasing it like that. Granted, it is World War I, and they were a different time than now, but I think we would need to have a little bit different of a reference on how you talk about that. Why is this not working? Okay. All right. So I like the integration with the world history. Boring. I didn't find anything that was boring. It's really interesting to have a were-tiger. Usually tigers aren't associated with Canada, so that's pretty fun to see that. Confused. I was confused quite a bit with the grammar, with the with some of the phrasing, and so cleaning up with the one idea per sentence, one concept per paragraph, making the sentences more active instead of passive, deleting out any clauses from within those sentences that don't provide additional information or important information. I would definitely remove those, delete, okay, those extra words are what I would delete. Expand, things that I would like to expand upon. Reformatting the poetry, that is something that could definitely be worked on, and maybe knowing a little bit more about the disappearance, the last time the tiger was seen. Are there any living people that still see it or have seen the tiger? Any eyewitnesses? Being World War I, probably not. Is there a section of a museum? Are there pictures of the tiger? You talked about having a plaque for where the tiger slept. I think there's a lot more evidence that you could create to say, hey, yeah, this is a real thing. You guys may not believe it, but this is something that could be done. And so, sorry this pen thing didn't work. I was really hoping to have gotten that work. So, yeah, so James, thank you so much for sharing this with us here at the Feedback Frenzy. Hope to be able to see this article again or another article that you may want to submit. And if you would like to have your content submitted, please visit wgc.bz/submit, where it too can also be critiqued in a future episode of the Feedback Frenzy. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day, and until next time, keep on writing.
Thanks for watching this Feedback Frenzy. Be sure to show your support by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell. WriterGreg offers coaching sessions to help bring your world to life, create compelling stories, and accomplish your creative goals. Please visit wgc.bz/coaching for more details.